The guitar is an incredibly versatile instrument. From playing classical masterpieces to crazy jazz improvs, it can do it all. But you don't want to do it all. You want to rock. Which is why you should learn all the songs on this list and then never play them again, because by the time you've mastered them, you're sick of them. In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 rock riffs every guitarist should learn if respect is what they want to earn. But if it's my respect for which you yearn, you'll burn through these riffs once, never to return. Why am I allowed to still play them? That's none of your concern. Number 1, Come As You Are by Nirvana. The opening riff to Come As You Are is the first riff every single guitarist on the planet should learn because it's the first one I did. Or because it's easy to play, instantly recognizable, and will help you get used to picking individual notes, but doesn't entail having to learn yet another stale, boring scale. This riff only includes 5 notes played across 2 strings, which means you could snap your D, G, B, and high E string and still be able to play it. But what makes Come As You Are the perfect first riff to learn is the heavy chorus effect used. Its wishy-washy sound will obscure all your little micro fuck-ups that would be noticeable if played clean. Now, I know you're eager to learn Smells Like Teen Spirit, but its strumming pattern is going to take months, if not years of practice to get right. However, you can come close to playing Come As You Are correctly in like a week, which will make it one of the weakest riffs in your repertoire. Eventually, once you can play it in your sleep, you'll come to the same conclusion about playing Come As You Are that Kurt came to about playing life. It's time to come to an end. You sure won't see him playing this riff anymore. He knew when to call it quits and did what he had to do to make sure he'd never have to play or hear Come As You Are ever again. Come on, that's not funny. Okay, maybe a little funny. Number 2, Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. Even if you've only been playing the guitar for a short time, whether you want to or not, you're going to learn this riff. You can't not learn it. The intro and main riff to Smoke on the Water is so easy to play that you're bound to figure it out by accident at some point early in your guitar playing career, which is why it's a riff you'll never want to hear after you've been playing for at least a year. Smoke on the Water makes a great first song to jam out to with a drummer, especially an inexperienced one. Since they're going to be tripping all over those 16th notes on the hi-hat like crazy, neither you, the drummer, or anyone listening is going to notice any of the 16 minor mistakes you make. Unlike Come As You Are, which is played 1 note at a time, the riff from Smoke on the Water is played 2 at a time. Both are like potty training. Whether it's playing a 1 or 2 note riff or going number 1 or 2 in the potty, the first 1 or 2 times you do it, everyone will be impressed. But for the rest of your guitar playing career, year after year, neither is a riff anyone's going to want to hear. Number 3, Iron Man by Black Sabbath. This song includes 2 riffs all guitarists should learn. Well, 1 riff and 1 unusual string bending technique that you'll never ever use for anything else. But it's worth learning because even if you can play every single other note to Iron Man, including the solo, if you don't know those bends from the intro, that'll just give ammo to D-bags like me so I can go show everyone that I know how much you blow. Whoa. While you can recreate Tony Iommi's guitar bends with a trem bar or by pulling on your guitar's neck and praying that it doesn't snap, he presses on the low E string above the nut. The only other guitarist I can think of off the top of my head to do this before him was Chuck Berry. But fuck Chuck. I'm talking about Sabbath. The main riff played during the verses is a must-learn for any rock guitarist. It's more complicated than Come Smoke As You Are on the Water, but not by much. Come As You Are just uses 1 string at a time, Smoke uses 2, and Iron Man 3. Its iconic riff uses 3-note power chords. And once you can play those root 5th octave power chords with ease, congratulations, you just unlocked 98% of rock music. The main riff to Iron Man is like your sister. Easy, fun to fool around with at first, and will make pleasing sounds when fingered correctly. But once you've banged it out enough times, it starts to get boring. And that's when you need to start looking for more complicated riffs to be exploring. Number 4, Barracuda by Heart. If you're into rock or especially metal, you're going to need to learn to gallop. But I'm not talking about horseback riding. I'm talking about learning to play galloping rhythms like the one from This Flight Tonight by Nazareth. But since like everyone else, you probably don't know that song, we're going to talk about a song you and everyone else do know that totally stole its galloping riff 5 years later. Barracuda by Heart. You're going to need to know the intro to this song by heart unless you want your friends constantly attacking you like a barracuda preying on mackerel, tuna, or the occasional unsuspecting snorkeler. Fortunately, you're not going to need to know that this riff uses a 1 and a 2 and a double gallop that kinda has a triplet-style chug feel to it, but actually uses a slightly syncopated 16th note subdivision. Since you're a guitarist, you don't need to know any of that worthless music theory bullshit. All you need to know is that this riff sounds like da-da-da-da-da-da. That's it. Learn to play the opening riff to Barracuda, and you've essentially just learned to play about half of all hard rock songs, 75% of metal, and at least 99% of all Iron Maiden songs. Which is why, once you've learned the intro to Barracuda, you never need to play it again, because then you can move on to the Four Horsemen and other galloping riffs like Shedding Skin, The Trooper, Holy Diver, and to any others which you might happen to run in. Number 5, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. I've talked about this song before, and you'll probably hear me talk about it again at some point. What you won't hear me do at any point is play it. But if the guitar is something you're still learning to play, you're gonna need to figure out some way to play Stairway, because this song ain't going away. It's a classic rock mainstay and makes the perfect gateway into the world of a new way to play. Finger picking away. Between picking away at your guitar, picking your nose, picking up change in mosh pits, and picking up middle-aged soccer moms at the grocery store, picking is starting to get sickening, which means it's time to climb the stairway to learning Stairway to Heaven. It might take a while to get to the top, but as soon as you master this riff and get there, it's time to turn around and descend back down those stairs to the ground, where your guitar won't make a sound when you're found by your friends and they hound you to astound them. But instead you drown them out, not with what they want you to play, Stairway, but with riffs by Coldplay, Green Day, Youth of Today, and maybe even Embrace Today, Parkway Drive, and Maroon 5, because you'll never want to play Stairway again as long as you're alive. Stairway to Heaven is a beautiful song. At first, you'll play it wrong, but as time moves along, your finger picking will get strong, and before long, you'll finally get to say so long to this way overplayed song. Do you want to show off your love of music with a comfortable, stylish, and affordable t-shirt like this one? How about one of these? You can find shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and other awesome music-related products at musicbshop.com. Whether you want to help support this channel or just want to get your hands on some cool, high-quality music-related merch, get your ass over to musicbshop.com. musicbshop.com. Number 6. Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. Learning to play Stairway will help you get good at finger-picking a guitar. Learning to play Nothing Else Matters will take your finger-picking so far that before long you'll be picking up chicks at the bar and they'll be begging you to finger them in the backseat of their car or wherever else the two of you are. If nothing else matters to you besides getting laid, you've got it made after the first minute of Nothing Else Matters gets played. It's a slow, soulful song that will showcase what your dexterous fingers are capable of. If you can nail the first minute of this song, you can nail any woman who sees you playing it all night long. Now don't get me wrong, to play this song, your finger-picking technique needs to be fairly strong. And with practice, it'll gradually come along. But by the time you get there, you're so sick of this song that you once and for all say so long. Despite lots of ladies requesting this song, including one who did so while sliding off her thong, as tempted as you are to play along, you prolong remaining headstrong. You feel you're better than this song and say no, cause in your repertoire, it don't belong. So now you're left playing with nothing but your slong all year long. Number 7. Killin' in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. Learning to play this riff is an absolute must for any guitarist. It's got a nice funky rhythm, it ain't hard to play, and being able to bust out the verses to Killin' in the Name can potentially come in handy every time you pick up your guitar. Now, this song is a little different than the others on the list. Those riffs you need to learn, practice, master, and then never ever play again. And the same is mostly true for Killin' in the Name. However, there is one occasion when it's perfectly appropriate to play this song. Whenever anyone asks you to play it, play Killin' in the Name. It's also totally acceptable to play this riff whenever anyone asks you to do anything you don't want to do. Annoying parent? Go do your homework, son. Power tripping Guitar Center employee? You need to ask permission before using those guitars. Put it back. Playing and singing this riff can come in handy in a variety of situations whenever someone tells you to do something you don't want to do, but it needs to be reserved for those special occasions. Granted, I would totally testify that Killin' in the Name is an absolute bomb track, but it would tire me, you, and every other guitarist if we had the freedom to play it all the time. Number 8. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Even if your guitar somehow only had like 12 frets, you'd still be able to play all the riffs I've mentioned thus far. So now it's time to move on up like the Jeffersons, but only by 3 frets, because the intro to Sweet Child of Mine is played entirely between the 12th and 15th frets on the D, G, B, and E strings. It's an easy riff to learn and memorize, but a fairly difficult one to play correctly without your fingers tripping all over themselves, which is why you need to master it and then never play it again. It's also why Slash wrote it in the first place. In 1986, Slash came up with the 8-bar string skipping exercise using all 8th notes to help warm up his fingers before band practice. Though it was never intended to be used for anything, the other members of GNR liked the 64-note riff so much that they built an entire song around it. Slash never liked the riff and would go on record calling it both stupid and circusy. Partly because of this, Sweet Child of Mine almost didn't go on the record Appetite for Destruction. But it's a good thing it did, because that record destroyed all sorts of sales records, and Appetite still remains the best-selling record debut of all time, with over 18 million records sold in the US alone. And Sweet Child of Mine, to this day, remains the only Guns N' Roses song to reach that sweet #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. Even though you should totally learn to play this riff and then never play it again, I probably don't have to tell you to do either. It's so iconic, you're going to want to learn to play it whether I tell you to or not. But to master it, you're going to have to play those same 64 notes over and over and over again so many fucking times that when you do eventually get to a place where you can easily nail the opening riff to Sweet Child, you'll be so damn sick of it that you'll never want to play it ever again. Number 9, Eruption by Van Halen. If you can play this song, you've got my respect. Whoa, 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 I didn't say I want to hear you play it. I just said that if you can play it, I respect you as a guitarist. But if you do play it, I instantly lose all respect for you as both a guitarist and a person. Eruption isn't so much a riff as it is a series of crazy riffs strung together, each showcasing a different technique. It incorporates alternate picking, fast legato runs, natural harmonics, artificial harmonics, slides, bends, trills, Floyd Rose dive bombs, and of course, the two-handed tapping technique that Eddie popularized. So you shouldn't be surprised that countless guitarists have agonized over learning to play Eruption, since that's the guitar playing equivalent of getting baptized. But you'll be criticized, despised, and chastised if even a single note is improvised. So it's advised these techniques are analyzed and exercised until mistakes are minimized and eventually neutralized. Once every technique has been utilized and your dream of learning Eruption has been fully realized, your skills will be recognized, but be advised, now that you can play Eruption, if you ever do play it again, an asshole show-off is how you'll be categorized. If you can play Eruption, you can play just about any rock song, which is why you should learn it. There's no better way to prove to yourself that you're a real guitarist than by spending countless hours trying to recreate what some Dutch guy recorded nearly 50 years ago. Eddie made it look easy. You make it look painful, which is why once you learn it, you should never again play Eruption. If you do, it will be met with abrupt interruption and you'll have to apologize for the disruption. If you can play some or all of the riffs on this list, respect. But if you want to keep that respect, you'll never play any of them in front of me or anyone else ever again. And now I want you to respectfully, or disrespectfully, whatever, I don't really give a shit, tell me what riffs should have made the list but didn't. Does it drive you crazy that I left off Crazy Train or Crazy on You? Tell me in the comments. If you like this shirt, it's available in lots of colors and sizes at musicbesharp.com along with lots of other awesome music-related merch. Link in the description. And if you'd like to hear some underplayed rock riffs of mine, check out my album Denialism or search for this dude on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you listen to music.